What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about the recent comments made by James Gunn. I believe you made two comments recently. And I have to say, I haven't seen this level of coping in quite some time. I'm going to be honest with you. This is some extreme level of coping. They are anticipating Superman to bomb. That's what they're anticipating. Because the most recent comment was James Gunn talking about, it's absurd to, that Superman would be considered a flop if it doesn't do, I believe, 700 million. And it's like, bruh, what do you mean if Superman doesn't do 700 million? Jurassic Park Rebirth, whatever, is on track for 380 million, right? And for me personally, that movie was garbage. It just is what it is. If Superman can't hit 700 mil, yes, it would be considered a flop. 100% considered a flop. I believe Man of Steel, if you take into account inflation, even did, I think, 900, close to $1 billion, if I'm not mistaken. That is in fact embarrassing that he's saying that, because you wouldn't say something like that. This whole concept of, it's not about what it does in the numbers, it's about the quality. No, it's a film. This is a business. Filmmaking is a business. Once you're at this level of the game, it's about numbers. That's what it's about. The reason why you do certain casting, the reason why you have certain themes, the reason why you have certain dialogue and whatnot, it's about money. How it plays in the foreign markets as well as the domestic markets, as well as the culture, the temperature of the room. That's what it's about. It's about money. So for him to say that, hey, it's not about money is goofiness, all right? Absolute goofiness. What that relates to me is that you don't have real strong faith in your film.
Where's the dog?
And if we double up on that by his past previous comments in regards to politics, hear me out. I'm not a Snyder fan of Man of Steel. I didn't like that. I've said that time and time again. I like the rendition that they had of Superman when it came to Black Adam. At the end of the credit scene, spoiler, where Henry Cavill comes out with the S-curl and there's red and it's more vibrant. I'm about that. Then they played the theme even. I'm about that. Give me that Superman. But that being said, he comes out and talks about, yes, there's politics, and people have ran with that statement. It seems that James Gunn is trying to, tank this movie in hopes of restoring the Snyderverse. Hearing that, as crazy as that may be, y'all know I got the symbiote suit on for a reason, but that's what it feels like. It feels like he's trying his hardest to tank this movie. And I've seen a bunch of reviews. I've had people tell me, people have gone to the premiere. There's a premiere today in LA for the film, but people were at London, people were in, I believe, India or whatever, that they've seen the film, that even people on YouTube who have, I guess they're not breaking embargo, but they've relayed that. We see Vanity Fair, people who have done reviews of the film, that it's, as I said, it's not the Superman that we want. Now, it's being shown as a comedy for kids. That's how it's being played. But one thing I can't stand is when they take beloved characters like this and they make it like a kiddie film. Listen, The Incredibles, it's an animated film, but both adults and children can enjoy the film, right? That's when you know you have quality. Superman, the original Superman with Christopher Reeves, both kids and adults can enjoy the film. Now, if you want to make a goofy hee-hee-ha-ha slapstick Three Stooges type of film, sure, but that's not, you don't do it with Superman. And how he comes off in the film is very weak. And that's how, Gunn wanted him to be portrayed, as a weak individual. But we already have the weak side. That's Clark Kent. Why are we going from weak to weaker, right? Why do we go from a non-threatening, weak Clark Kent to a non-threatening, weak Superman? Not saying that Superman needs to be threatening, but there should be a sense that he is Superman. He is super. If you remove the super from him, he's just man. And nobody wants to see that. And then with the temperament that he's shown throughout the film, and even with the trailers of him just just him losing his cool, losing his demeanor over little things. This guy seems like an abusive boyfriend who hates bald people.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Okay, that's how he comes off. Like he's yelling at Lois over asking questions. I get the concept and the context. That's not how Superman behaves. Now, I hear you, this is how James Gunn's Superman behaves. Well, I would argue that most people aren't gonna like that. It just is a whiz. They're just not gonna like that. It would be tantamount to having Batman, making jokes like Spider-Man. Well, you can say, well, this is James Gunn's Batman. You can say that, but it's in contradiction to everything that people know of Batman. You can absolutely change the character however you see fit. It's your movie, 100%. But you also, if you make that bed, you have to lie in it, all right? You have to lie in it. And we've seen the shoddy graphics, we've seen the horrible dialogue, we've seen the campy jokes, and I don't believe that most audiences, unless they're brain dead, and that can be possible given how, Jurassic Park is doing, that could be possible, but I don't think most audiences are going to receive this Superman well. And they are trying to come out in front of that and saying, well, it doesn't need to make all that money, okay? What is money? It's all about the art. It's all about the craft, okay? And it's like, you have lost people on multiple fronts. When it comes to the classic superhero physique, you had Corn Sweat do all this working out just to have his physique covered up by a baggy Superman suit, because James Gunn wanted Superman to feel like a big brawny guy who could be hugged, essentially a teddy bear.
What?
Nobody wants Superman to have a dad bod, okay? Nobody wants Superman to be huggable. I don't know what to tell you. That's not what we want, is him having a beer or a soft belly and everything, and that's what they gave us. So now you have people who don't like the suit. I don't like the suit, especially coming from Cavill's suit, which was like, boom, where he had like a superhero physique, especially coming from even Christopher Reeve's suit. Where he had a good physique. You saw him working out, where he didn't even have muscle padding. That was just all him, bruh. And the cut of the suit, even with the briefs and everything. And then you go to this suit, you're losing people there. Then we get the temperament of Superman, this dynamic between Superman and Lois. Now in the quote, he's trying to highlight, that we need more kindness. That's what we need. We need more kindness. And then maybe we have to second guess our morality, because, what do we never kill at all? Or are there certain times to kill? Is there a balancing act? And I guess that's where the Lois and Clark dynamic is gonna come in to play. But okay, I get you. But we don't need preachy. And I'm not even gonna knock him for the politics, because every damn movie is practically political. Like the fact that Superman, essentially the embodiment of a Jewish immigrant. That's, if you look into it, that's what he was supposed to be representative of. If you look at it, any of the characters, Captain America hitting Nazis and stuff, like there always is a political theme underlying all of these heroes. We get that. Man, this is actually emblematic of the issue that many people have, including myself, with the film, is that it's telling and not showing. You don't need to tell me that there's politics in the film. We get it. We understand, right? He's stopping a war. There's Lex Luthor. We got it. Especially nowadays with immigration, he's being, an alien. We got that. Show us, don't tell us. And I think this is a perfect example when it came to Lex Luthor dialogue, is that he was like, oh, we have to find something here that's gonna make the captain go against Superman.
Hopefully there's something on here we can use to convince the general Superman requires immediate action.
What?
I can't stand the metahumans, but he's so much worse. Superman.
Brother, what's that?
Like, bro, you giving us dialogue and exposition, and we don't need all that. That's bad writing. That is signs of bad writing. Now, as I said before, the only reason you would do that if you're expecting a brain-dead audience.
He's out of line, but he's right.
And that may be the case. If there is like I said, this is a litmus test for the country to see how far off we are. If we are below room temperature IQ, then this movie may very well be a box office hit, because that's how it's written. It's written for low IQ, childish mindset. That's the type of writing and dialogue and visual effects that we're dealing with. So I just like to think that most people have an IQ above room temperature and they're not gonna like this, okay? It just is what it is. But we shall see. I don't think that Gunn is anticipating a hit. I don't think that the studios are anticipating a hit. And I think they've done everything in their power by putting out clips after clips after clips after clips to try and combat the low expectations that many people have for this film. You're gonna get seats in the office just due to it being a Superman film, but there's only one thing worse than not having butts in the seats of a Superman film, and that is a bad Superman film. That is something you don't recover from at all. Like, Corn Sweat's career could absolutely be tanked if this movie is not well received, which is what everyone is anticipating, including the studios, including Gunn himself, based off of how he's reacting. We'll see. Nonetheless, that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think. Is it gonna be a hit? Is it gonna be a flop? Is it barely gonna coast by? Is the Snyderverse gonna be restored? and all that fun stuff. And until next time, guys, keep animating.